This is Top Accolade African News Updates. I am Soibifa Jagrich. A huge gas blast in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, has killed at least 3 people and injured nearly 300. A lorry carrying gas exploded in Embakasi district at about 23:30, igniting a huge ball of fire, a government spokesperson said. Housing, businesses and cars were damaged, with a video showing a huge blaze raging close to blocks of flats. The area has been cordoned off and an investigation is on the way into the cause of the explosion. The government initially said the blast happened at a gas plant where workers were refilling gas cylinders, but later clarified that a truck had exploded in its parking yard. The fire that broke out as a result is reported to have been contained. Embakasi Police Chief Wellesley Kimeto said a child was among those who died, adding that the death toll could rise. The Kenyan Red Cross said it had taken 271 people to hospital. A further 27 people who were treated on site were later allowed to go home. The Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority said in a statement that the gas plant was illegal and that it had rejected 3 applications for construction permits to build a storage and filling facility at the site. Victims of last year's oil terminal explosion in Guinea's capital, Conakry, that left 20 dead, have protested against what they call the failed promises of the military government to help rebuild their houses. In addition to those who were killed, at least 240 others were injured in the inferno. Buildings were damaged, windows were blown out, and residents were forced to flee their homes. Hundreds of those affected held an impromptu demonstration on Thursday, which was led by women and paralyzed activity in Kalom, the administrative and business center of Conakry. They carried placards with messages such as, "We don't want false promises, stop the killings. Guinea is suffering, Kalom is suffering, and we are tired. Our children are in danger." Demonstrators blocked the highways in the morning, preventing workers from getting to their offices. They also condemned the government's cut in food aid, the high prices of food items, as well as internet and media restrictions. After hours of protests, the police fired tear gas to disperse the crowd. The U.S. ambassador to the UN, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, has rated Liberia as an example for democracy for the whole of Africa. Following her recent visit of the region, she told journalists in New York that with the second post-Civil War democratic transition and a sitting president gracefully accepting defeat, Liberia is truly an example for not just West Africa, but the entire continent of Africa. "We really should commend Liberians for that success," she said. Her comments follow a spate of coup in the region, which some have equated to a lack of faith in democracy in the region. President Joseph Boakai was sworn in at the beginning of last week after he defeated football icon turned President George Weah by a slight margin. Ambassador Greenfield attended the ceremony on President Joe Biden's behalf. She assured Liberia of the U.S. unflinching commitment to supporting the country's development. Liberia has been very supportive and worked closely with us here at the UN, and we are committed to helping President Boakai succeed, she said. "We have been a close ally and partner to Liberia throughout." An Ethiopian opposition lawmaker has been arrested by government security forces in the country's capital, Addis Ababa. His family members said the Salen Chinese relatives said no official reason has yet been provided for his detention. Mr. Desalegn won a federal parliamentary seat representing opposition party National Movement of the Amara in 2021. Due to Mr. Desalegn's status as an MP, he is entitled to immunity from prosecution. Parliament is meant to convene and revoke his immunity before a lawmaker is arrested, but this has not happened. He is the second opposition legislator to be arrested since fighting in the Amara region began last year. Last August, Christian Tadele, an MP from the Nama, was arrested and still remains in custody. Both lawmakers were known for voicing strong criticism against Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's administration. These arrests come as the conflict between local militia and the army in Amara continues to rage on. Prime Minister Abiy imposed a 6-month state of emergency in early August to try to stop the clashes. Fighting has continued to be reported in some areas in Amara, with media outlets affiliated with the militias accusing government forces of killing unarmed civilians in a small town called Merawi, 35 kilometers south of the regional capital, Bahidia. The authorities have not yet responded to the accusation. That is the size of top accolade African news updates. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy Friday.